Okay guys, so I'm going to show you how to remove Windows firewall protection. This is like a pop-up, an adware, a virus, who knows what it is. It's something new that pops up, unfortunately, for some of my customers. So I'm going to show you how to remove it. All right, so you can see me, I'm remoted into the client and I'm starting to get my boundaries. I'm going to go open up Chrome, and Chrome seems to be working. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to download an app called rkill. This app, rkill, can be found at a website called Bleeping Computer. And what rkill does is it stops any malicious processes, and it allows you to remove them. So it kind of deactivates them temporarily so you can get rid of them. So I'm going to go ahead and download rkill at bleepingcomputer.com. Now, while I wait for rkill to download, you can also find a link in the video notes in the description below, so you can get it quicker. In addition to that, oh, note, rkill also is called iexplore.exe. So you go ahead and open it, and you're gonna see a black command screen come up, and it's gonna kill any malicious processes. Now, while we wait for rkill to open up, I just wanted to let you know this is a real case study of me fixing something for a real client. I was able to fix the computer in 1 hour. Okay, so hold on a second. So click Smart Screen, click Run. Click Yes. All right, so here we go. Here's rkill, also known as iexplore.exe, and it will stop any malicious processes. Now, while that's running, I'm gonna go ahead and grab myself a copy of Malwarebytes. Malwarebytes can be picked up on nite.com/Malwarebytes. The link will be down in the description below. I check mark Malwarebytes and I click Get My Nite, so it's coming down. Now I check back on rkill and I see that it hasn't found anything just yet. So as I was saying, I helped this client out. I fixed her problem in 1 hour. I charged her $99. She was extremely happy to get the problem solved. And I also tuned up her computer and made sure it was protected across the board. I do offer a class teaching people how to do things like this in IT. It's called IT Guy Secrets, and the link is in the description as well, and it teaches you how to make $100 an hour. Now, I'm connected to her through Microsoft Quick Assist, which is a remote sharing tool. It's free and it's built into Microsoft Windows. When you're running some of these tools, the connection will get cut off. That's totally normal. So I was able to get her back on through pressing the Control Windows key and the letter Q at the same time. Again, the Control key, the Windows key, and the letter Q. It brought up the Quick Assist screen, and I was able to give her a code and get back in. So as you can see in the upper left-hand corner, the Quick Assist is coming back up, and I'm connecting to her. And this whole time that we're communicating, me and the client, we're just going through text, and we're not even on the phone. So now you can see in the bottom left-hand corner, Malwarebytes, the Nite came down. I'm gonna run it in a second. Here we go. So Malwarebytes is a great tool. It's an anti-malware tool. Finds a lot of stuff, and it might or might not get rid of this Windows firewall protection, but there could be other things that are bringing this Windows firewall protection in that I might get rid of, such as adware or potentially unwanted programs. So rkill finished, and it wasn't able to stop anything, but that's fine. We'll continue going. I have a whole gamut of tools to use. And in the meantime, I was searching Bleeping Computer to see if there's any new tool that came out specifically to clean Edge. Bleeping Computer is a good repository of all the software tools that clean computers. So it's always good to check back often and see if there's anything new. In this part, I was searching for internet options, so I can go ahead and reset them to their factory settings. So I was typing internet options in the bottom left-hand search bar. I clicked on internet options, then I went to the advanced tab, and I clicked reset. And this disabled browser add-ons and applied the default settings. Then I went back in to the internet options again, and I wanted to restore by going to the advanced and then restore advanced settings. Now I moved on to going back to Night, and in this case I was going to pick up a utility called Glary. Glary Utilities helps to tune up the computer. It also removes spyware as well, and it has a couple cool functions that I'll show you here in a second. Click yes. So I checked on my download of malware bytes, and it was still going strong. This internet connection of the client wasn't super fast, so things were just plugging along. And I went back to check to see if the Windows firewall protection pop-up was still there, and it was. And that's fine. So in order to kill it, I went into the task manager, and I went and looked to see if I found any specific app running called Windows Firewall Protection, or if there was any suspicious apps. I also noticed a strange Ultra Viewer desktop, which seemed like maybe the scammer was remoting into the client's computer and possibly pretending to be IT support. So I end those tasks, and then I end all the tasks. I went up and stopped Microsoft Edge, which killed the pop-up. So now with the pop-up gone, I went back into Edge in a private tab, and I was thinking about resetting it to default. So I went to the upper right hand corner of the 3 dots, and I went to settings, and then I went to, on the left column, I went down to reset settings, and I clicked on the little arrow, which allowed me to reset the Edge settings. And in this case, I believe that Edge was infected, and by resetting the settings, I think it would solve the problem from popping up again. But it didn't it wasn't that would make sure that the computer is completely clean. So I had a little bit more work to do. Now, if you want this problem solved, you can go ahead and text me at 305-814-5599. I'll put a number on the screen, and we can talk about resolving this problem for you. If you're interested in doing work like this for clients and you'd like to learn and take my course, you can check the link below. It's called itguysecrets.com. And the URL is get.itguysecrets.com. So as you can see, I go back into add remove programs, and I'm removing this Ultra Viewer. This Ultra Viewer, I wasn't sure exactly what it was, but I thought it was a remote program that can get into the computer, so I was like wanting to remove it. But in the meantime, I wanted to remove it correctly, so I downloaded Revo. Revo is a program that helps you to remove programs that are difficult to remove. So I downloaded Revo just in case that program wouldn't come out. In the meantime, I went back and I started my Malwarebytes scan to get rid of any malicious malware. So then I open Glary Utilities after it was installed by Night, and I start with the one-click maintenance tab, and I click scan, and I make sure to check disrepair and automatic repair. Now I move on to the system tools, and then I click repair system files. And then I minimize the repair system files in the background. And then I go to the privacy and security area and click on browser assistant. I wanted to see if there was any malicious things hiding out in the browser still. And as I look around, I don't really see anything that calls my attention. So eventually I move on. But before I do, I also check Google to make sure that, or Chrome rather, to make sure that there's nothing really crazy. And as I look, I see that there are some coupon searches and some daily deals, which could definitely be bringing in malicious things. So those are what's called potentially unwanted programs. So I keep a note in my mind, and I'm going to go back later and remove those manually. Okay, so I'm checking on my Malwarebytes, and I'm seeing that there's already 2 detections of potentially unwanted programs. So I'm already knowing that there could be things in there that might be bringing other bad things inside the computer. So I know that the scan is not done just yet, and I need to continue searching for possible infections. So I close it, and I move on. Now back to Revo Uninstaller. This program helps you to uninstall difficult programs. I also check the taskbar and make sure there isn't anything funky hanging around. So I open up Edge as well, and I want to do a search to see if the search is hacked. Like in some cases, when you search for something, you'll get all these weird ads. So I just do like a normal user search. In this case, I search shoes. And it takes a while to load, but I'm patient. So shoes come back, and I don't see any weird things going on for the most part. Except for that little extension. So I go back and I look through the extensions. And I don't really see anything here that looks unusual. So I close it out. And I see that Malwarebytes has now 20 detections of potentially unwanted programs. So again, I see the daily deals, which are the extensions that are in Chrome, and they are, coupons and stuff like that, but possibly they're bringing in bad stuff. So that's in my mind to remove that. I go back to Revo and I want to check and see what programs are installed, what each program does, when was the last program installed, and kind of see if there's anything I need to remove. So I go ahead and click the install date so it can sort by latest installed first. And I'm looking around and I don't really see anything too crazy. But I also noticed that the remote program I was looking at before doesn't show up here, which is kind of interesting. So I close Revo and I go back to add remove programs, and I want to just be sure of what this Ultra Viewer is first before I get rid of it, because it might be something that's valuable to the client. So I click Chrome and I'm going to do an actual Google search of this Ultra Viewer version 6.2. So I search Ultra Viewer, and so Glare Utilities is trying to close Chrome because it's going to like clean it out, but I need to search this really quick. So I also noticed that her search engine is hijacked. So I go to the settings and then I go to search engine. I disable a coupon search extension, and then I put it back to Google. So now when I do a search, I'm going to get better quality results. Let me go ahead and close this pop-up. And I'll search again. Ultra Viewer. There we go. Now we have a good result. So it's a remote control software. So there's probably nothing bad about the software itself. It's just the people that were using it might be malicious. So I see that the scan is done with Malwarebytes. I quarantine 20 items and I close it out. Now I go back to Glare and I see Glare has already done a lot of repairs. So I close that out as well. And I go ahead and uninstall Ultra Viewer version 6.2 in the add remove programs. And yes. So it starts to uninstall and I go back into Revo just to look around, but I realize that there's nothing there that I need to see. So I uninstall the Ultra Viewer and I move on. Okay, Malwarebytes is already installed, and Glare is already installed, and system file check is 58% done. So at this point, I'm kind of cleaning up, closing things down, looking for any malicious processes that might stand out to me. So clean everything up and thinking about what my next move is. So I want to go ahead and check every icon of Edge to make sure that this Windows protection firewall pop-up virus doesn't come back. So I search dresses and I want to see if it's hijacked or not. I want to see if I get normal search results. And I do. So then I go to the other shortcut on the taskbar and I click on it again. And I'm just making sure that each shortcut is clean and not hacked. Otherwise, I have to create a new shortcut. So then I think of something else to search, like glasses, and it comes back normal. Everything seems fine. Also want to check Google again. And things are looking okay over here as well. So I go back to bleeping computer. Oh, and I realized that the search is also messed up over here. There we go. So there was another tool I wanted to run called Adware Cleaner. This tool is great to get rid of any adware, probably what we got, and also it's good to clean up the after effects of the adware. So I go ahead and download it from Bleeping Computer, and while I'm downloading that, I open a new tab and get Junkware Removal Tool and TDS Killer. Now, Adware Cleaner, it does mess with the remote connection, so as I run it, I'm going to get kicked off, but I already know that, and I let the client know, and she was cool with it, so she helped me to get back on. So now I go ahead and download the other two apps, and I get the black screen, which asks the user to click yes, and after a few seconds, she went and clicked yes, so she got me back in. The reason it asks you to click yes, it's a user authentication control, and that's just a protection in Windows. I could have disabled it, but there's nothing wrong with asking her to press yes, and it'll protect her in the future as well. So I'm back on, and I'm about to run my first tool, which is Malwarebytes Adware Cleaner. So I click scan, and it starts running. Right off the bat, it has 4 infections and about 21 pre-installed software elements that it deems as non-useful or even harmful for your computer. So right away, it finds a couple programs that are potentially unwanted, and I select them all, and I put them into quarantine. And I hit continue. So now it creates a system restore point, and it starts to quarantine and clean up the computer. So the moral of the story here at this point in the video is that one program doesn't solve it all. If you have one antivirus, one anti-malware, one thing, it's really not enough, and it changes so often. There's new threats coming out constantly. You need someone like myself, or you need to be like well versed in this and be able to just keep up with all the different tools. So at this point, I get disconnected from her, which I told her already ahead of time it was going to happen, that the program does kill any connections to the internet. So she's patient. I wait a minute or so, and then we eventually reconnect. While we're waiting, if you are interested in learning how to make $100 an hour doing work like this, please check the details and the link below. I have a course called get.itguysecrets.com. Again, it's get.itguysecrets.com. And if you're interested in getting someone like myself to solve this problem for you, you can go ahead and text me at 305-814-5599. I'd be happy to answer any questions you have. If you are a business, I'd be happy to help you. If you are a residential customer, I'd be happy to help you. And if you are someone in need and just don't really have any money, I'd still be happy to help you. Give me a call and see how we can work this out. Okay, so at this point, I ended the screen sharing and I tried to reconnect to my client with Quick Assist. Again, to get Quick Assist, you press the Control key, the Windows key, which is located between Control and Alt, and the Q at the same time, letter Q. That's me. All right, so I sign in and I get a code and I text the code to the client. And the client, on her side, she presses the Control key, the Windows key, the Q. So we're texting back and forth, and her computer's a little slow, So I'm just waiting patiently and guiding her on how to connect. So if you follow all of these instructions and you copy exactly what I did, you'll be able to also remove it. But if you don't have the patience or it's difficult for you to follow along, please feel free to reach out and get professional help from myself. 305-814-5599. A text would be great, or you can leave a voicemail and I'll get back to you ASAP. If you would like to learn how to make $99 an hour doing work just like this, take a look at my course. It's get.itguysecrets.com. I also have a free 1-hour training that can get you started. Okay, so we finally got things going again. She was having some trouble connecting. So I'm back in, and as I'm back in, AdWord Cleaner is already done. So I checked the log file to see what's going on. Nothing too crazy, a couple registry entries. And I scroll down and I see a bunch of potentially unwanted programs. Some that came with the computer to begin with and others that didn't. So I move on. At this point, I'm thinking I want to get rid of these extensions that are causing her issues. See, the daily deals is trying to already change to change the settings. Okay, so I'm going to go into settings and I'm going to go to more tools and then into extension. And right away I can see be frugal. I'm going to go ahead and remove that and then go back and remove the coupon search. And go back and see if there's anything else. Daily deals, goodbye, you're gone. These extensions, sometimes they bring in bad stuff. Okay, so onto TDSS Killer. This is a anti-rootkit tool. And for some reason, it's not coming down. So I'll move on to Junkware Removal Tool. And I want to check to see if I already downloaded it. Yep, I did. So I'll go ahead and open it. Now the junkware removal tool also will kill the internet connection. So I'm gonna lose connection to her, but this is just something that happens when you're working remotely. If I were to have installed TeamViewer on her computer, I could have connected back without having to ask her to intervene again. And in some cases, I'll do that. But I wasn't sure if she was able to download TeamViewer in the beginning because I didn't know if her browser was blocked. So as far as junkware removal tool goes, I press any key to continue and it started making a restore point. So at this point, junk removal tool finishes by itself. I've already fixed the problem. I send the user an invoice for $99. She sends me the money right away and everyone's happy.